These are the top 10 3D printed things that LEGO will never make. Number 1. Meet the LEGO Brick of Death. As if stepping on a LEGO brick with your bare feet wasn't painful enough, user dirty-faced kid over on Thingiverse created this monstrosity. If you want to print this out to yourself, then I suggest printing it out in a bright color like this yellow filament, so you don't accidentally step on it for content. The best or worst part is that it's LEGO compatible. Somewhere in the world, Kevin McAllister is home alone with a bunch of these bricks of death, waiting for the next time some unsuspecting thief walks into their house. I printed one out myself. It failed a few times actually. This one is the right scale, but the printer outright refused to print out the spikes, which makes this a badly printed regular LEGO brick. But eventually I got a decent print by scaling it way up. A properly calibrated FDM printer with a fine nozzle should do a better job, or even a resin machine if you have access to one, that would be great. Let's see how painful it is. Great, now I'm bleeding all over the place. I need to grab some tissue from... Number 2. Toilet paper holder. There are many 3D printable designs for toilet paper holders, but this one from user VVK187 shows off the classic LEGO look by using the yellow, red, and blue color scheme of the classic minifig. But of course, you can use any color of filament you have. It stands roughly 30 centimeters high, perfect for any LEGO themed bathroom. It has mounting points on the back so you can use these suction cups on your bathroom wall. Remember to clean your wall before sticking the suction cups so they actually stay on. I'm not usually a fan of suction cup mounts, but for hanging light-ish 3D printed objects on a bathroom wall, they should be fine. Hey, quick question. Do you put your toilet roll on this way or this way? Forget alt versus real LEGO, this is the actual hot topic today. Leave your comment down below. Number 3. LEGO compatible light switch. These looked cool so I printed them out. This one had a really nasty layer shift, but the print finished anyway. It's a good thing that I didn't reprint it because these actually don't fit any of the light switches here in the studio. None of the switches at the house will work either, so I won't be able to use it. Double check first if you have the right size switches. The studs somehow don't fit my LEGO bricks as well, so if you decide to print this out for yourself, be sure to use a smaller layer height and a finer nozzle. Also, black filament is not the best choice for a light switch that you need to find in the dark. Glow-in-the-dark filament would be a cool choice here. Electricity is dangerous. Take the necessary precautions when taking off the faceplate. Safety is your responsibility, and speaking of safety, the fourth thing that LEGO will never make is this: LEGO compatible firearms. These aren't your family-friendly Star Wars blasters. These are minifig scaled versions of real-life firearms. Never say never, but I think it's pretty safe to say there won't be an official version of these, or indeed even an 18+ set based on a firearm. It just doesn't fit in with LEGO's overall philosophy in my opinion. But it's not like we are afraid of putting on non-LEGO accessories on our minifigs. So here is my minifig holding a firearm. These were a little difficult to print out because of, well, how little they are. I printed them standing up with a small layer height and it seemed to print well. Use a brim or a raft for your sanity. A resin printer would be perfect to print these out. It's worth buying one if you print a lot of minifigure accessories, as the higher resolution helps you print smaller and more detailed parts. Number 5. LEGO Among Us. Remember Among Us? It was super popular for a while, but now I think the interest has fizzled out quite a bit. If you think that statement is sus, leave a comment down below. These LEGO compatible prints look great and can fit in any space-themed set. This misprint is accidentally the best Among Us figure. It's an organic spaghetti-inspired monster, the nightmare of any 3D printer user. It comes with small and larger versions to match the scale of whatever you are building. You can paint this if you want to, add some color here on the helmet, but maybe put on some primer first. I haven't really tried painting 3D prints before, but I don't see why it won't work. Number 6. Balloon Boat. I'm sure you can cobble together a brick-built balloon boat. This one is 3D printed, but it can still bring your minifigures along for a ride. Grab a balloon, try to inflate it with lung power, and I give up. But if you can get a balloon inflated, just put it on top, and put it in a pool and let it go. The studs can be too tight or not tight enough depending on your printer, so always be mindful of your minifigs and LEGO parts if you plan on using this outside. Also try balancing the weight on top of the boat to help with stability. I was having trouble getting this to print, so I had to use a raft to print this boat. I'm sure there's a joke here somewhere. It can fit quite a lot of figs and it's a cool little toy. There is a version without the balloon attachment if you just want a prop Lego boat. Number 7. Lego Ball. Does anyone else remember the game Katamari Damacy? No? Just me? Okay, this round Lego ball reminds me of that game. Anyway, this ball of plastic has studs all over and allows you to connect bricks to build a spherical object. It's a cool trick where the only limit is your imagination and your Lego parts. The creator recommends a resin printer, but I got it to print on an ender tree. If you are having trouble, then you can try printing it out in halves first, then glue it together later. Just remember to align it before gluing so it still lines up and not at all crooked. You can also adjust your infill settings to make your print lighter or heavier depending on what you need. I don't recommend going for less than 10% infill though. This is to make sure that there is still some structure inside the part. Otherwise, it might just collapse inward when you are building. Number 8. Lego Shuriken. If you've ever wanted to be a Ninjago Elemental Master, now's your chance. Print out one or more, then let the shurikens fly. You print this out in 2 halves, and it also came with a bunch of these pins. I tried putting the pins in, but they don't fit, so I had to glue them together. CA or cyanoacrylate or super glue will work just fine. Try not to glue your fingers together. Then I used this gold marker to color the dragon part. It looks super cool and the aerodynamics are not bad. Just be mindful of where you throw it because the edges can be quite sharp. Mine are a little heavy at just 10% infill, so giving it maybe 20 to 30% infill would make it feel more like a significant object. Maybe even print this out in a nice shiny silver filament and pretend it's made of real metal. Number 9. Lego Hotshoe. Before we get to the last pick, let's take a look at something that works with my camera. This Lego compatible Hotshoe attachment. Finally, I can have my minifig photographer holding a camera on top of my actual camera. This was the easiest print today owing to its simple shape. Not the most practical 3D print, but hey, it's fun. Number 10. Lego Bricks Card. If you are familiar with model kits like Gundam, then you will recognize these bricks on a sprue print. Why would you do this to yourself, I hear you asking? Well, why not? That's 3D printing for you. Making something doesn't have to always make sense. If you enjoyed building it, then you got value from it. With that said, I'm sure Lego will never make something like this. Imagine opening up the new Dungeons & Dragons set and seeing a massive bag of plastic sprues where you have to cut out each individual brick. All 3,700 pieces. There would be an equally massive protest in Denmark. This was a bit of a nightmare to print. The sprue lines were incredibly thin and they kept breaking as I was removing it from the print bed. So after a few tries, I gave up and put it on a raft. And here it is. Let's try assembling it. There are serious differences between 3D printed and actual Lego bricks. Before you print your own, you should watch this video comparison.